in American society where art isn't a part of people's lives, it's like, I feel like I'm almost on a mission to bring art back to people. I feel like that somewhere along the line it's been taken away from them, because, there was a day when, everything that you had was art. If you had a table, you would carve something into the legs of the table. People made their own art, but art was a part of people's lives, and then it got to be this real elitist thing, and it was kind of almost used to start to create a class system in the United States. It's like, well, you don't understand this. And then sometimes people are championing art that really had no validity, except that you couldn't understand it. And so that you could kind of lure that over people. It's like, well, you may be able to go out and make as much money as me. You'll never understand this, and you'll never be in my class. So it became, I think it separated, and then some people just said, well, screw art, we'll just watch football. And I feel like that something was taken away from them, and part of my mission is to bring it back. Well, my solution for reaching the public was very simple. Everywhere I looked, I saw billboards, so I just kind of hijacked billboards to put my art on and to use that as a vehicle to reach the public. I'm petrified of heights. I don't like getting arrested, and I don't like falling, so it's probably the wrong thing for me to be doing.
Pirating billboards down each and every highway, and more than this. I did them my way, and more than this. I did it my way.
If you want to talk about freedom of expression, and you want to talk about free speech in America, then that's exactly what Ron English Billboard is all about.
Initially, the billboards I did were very surrealistic in nature, and they were intended as works of art given away free to the public. And later, as I became more political and more aware politically, it just seemed like such a great thing to start adding some politics into the billboards instead of just trying to present my art, but actually use that as a forum to express some ideas. So I would just take like whatever tagline they would put on something and then make some image that would contradict their tagline, but kind of play into it. And usually, like when there's like just a big kind of issue that's dominating the media, usually I make one billboard to comment on that. Legally, I don't have the right to do this, but I do, as a proponent of free speech, have an obligation to do this. And I think what a lot of people don't understand, especially in a capitalist society, is the corporations always argue he's infringing on our rights to free speech. We paid money for those billboards. We own those billboards. He is infringing our right to free speech. Corporate speech and free speech are two different things. Corporations don't deserve free speech. People deserve free speech.
Corporate America has a license to bombard you with whatever images they so choose and please. So there's always a check and balance. And the check here, or if you want to try the equalizer, and it's in a very small way, is that Ron will take images that you're being bombarded with and basically incorporate some other theme, whether it's political or the statement that he's trying to make. And if you're so used to seeing these billboards all the time, all of a sudden you look at a Ron English billboard, you'll do a double take.
We can't go change every billboard, we can't change every ad, but if we can put one up there that you see, so you see 1,000 marble ads and then you see one anti-marble ad, the next time you see the marble ad, that's gonna, that's gonna be your next association. You're gonna go, Marble Man, death, Marble Man, death. The thing about doing billboards that's unique is I can have a concept right now, and I can go home and paint it tonight and have it on a billboard tomorrow. But even if I was like a political cartoonist, I could have an idea tonight, send it to the paper, and they could say, this is a little over the top and we're not going to run it. But with I've just stolen the space. So it's like there's nobody to say, gee, Ron, that's a little over the top. You know, you can find it's a little over the top and they come swinging baseball bats at you while you're putting it up, but there's nobody there. There's no editors. There's no corporations going, you know, we don't really think this shows our car in a favorable light, therefore you can't do it. And even the billboard companies, people say, well, why don't you just rent these billboards? You know, you make a lot of money off your paintings, you can just rent them, and then you don't have to deal with going to jail and all that stuff. But they won't. They're not going to put up an anti-McDonald billboard because they take too much money from McDonald's. You can't just rent a billboard and say whatever you want. Recently, there's been a big advertising campaign for Apple computers, and they've appropriated all the geniuses and the big thinkers of the 20th century, and they use them to promote their product. Now, nobody knows for sure if these people would approve of their product or not. They're not given the opportunity because most of these people are dead. I just thought I would take it to the next level, so the first thing I went out and did Think Different and put Hitler on it. And I don't think that that's something they would have done. And then I went out and I did Charles Manson, Think Different, Charles Manson. I mean, there's a guy that thought real different. We did the one today with Bill Gates, and I'm sure, you know, I mean, he's an icon of the 20th century. He's a major thinker, a major player, and had some other company been doing that campaign, they probably would have used him, but obviously Apple's not going to use him because he's the competition. The corporations don't tend to pat me on the back. They find me a nuisance, but I think that I represent something that a lot of people are feeling, and I think I can represent it in a different way than they're used to seeing.
McDonald's is a place to rock. It is a restaurant where they buy food to eat. It is a good place to listen to the music. People flock here to get down to the rock music. Rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's, rock and roll McDonald's. McDonald's will make it fat. They serve Big Macs, they serve quarter pounders, they will put pounds on you. Rock and roll McDonald's.